won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up, what up, what up? And welcome into Pregaming here at Sports Money. This is where we take all the information, all the trends, all the angles, all the cash flow, all the line splits, all the weather updates, all the injury updates, everything else going on under the sun. And we try to come up with a informed betting strategy. That's what we're going to do here tonight. And shout out to everybody that's here to do it. We've got a full NHL card. We've got a camera that's slightly off angle. We've got ourselves all kinds of things happening. The NBA opens tonight. We've got two games in the NBA with the Rockets and the OKC Thunder and the Golden State Warriors versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I think it's an 11 game NHL card. Doesn't matter. I got 5 plays, I think, for you guys in the NHL. We'll talk about Vancouver and Pittsburgh. We'll talk about Seattle and Washington, and we'll bring her home with Columbus and Dallas. In fact, that just made me think of something I forgot to do. So let me just get this ready right fast. And then we've got some college football games as well, some midweek action. Look, premium hockey's been great. Weekday, primetime college football has been exceptionally good to us. And I do want to point something out. Let me fix this. There, that seems about right. 7-1 in the last NFL plays I've given out here. Goes back to Sunday afternoon. We went 5-1 to close out the Sunday card before Sunday night. Goes 6-1, and then last night. Actually, I guess I'm sorry. We're 8-1. 8-1. Excuse me. Jesus, that's kind of a big discrepancy. As we get rolling. So 8-1 in our last 9, just over the last 2 days. Thought we'd get back into the saddle and ready to attack. Now let's see if we can do the same thing with college football. It's been a big, last night was a show, wasn't it? 2 games. Woo! I didn't expect it to go as long as it did, but it did. It was fun. And we made some money. Man, I don't know if you guys stuck around till the end of the stream, but what an absolute heartbreaker. Absolute heartbreaker. I missed a plus 700 same game parlay that I gave out by 1.5 worthless, meaningless CJ Stroud passing yards. I had him under 227.5 for the parlay. He got 229. It was like 3:30 in the morning, and I'm like refreshing ESPN. I'm like, matter of fact, I'm going to do it again right now. I want to see if they came back and made a stat correction. That doesn't take much. I mean, we're not asking for 10 yards to be taken off the total. All we need is 1.5. And that thing will cash, and I'll reach back out to that book and be like, hey, by the way, they came back and made a stat correction. Let's see. No. No, they didn't. Damn. But we did cash some live bets in the programming as well, and gave some do's and don'ts when it came to the NHL. So it was a fun Monday nighter, double header. Won't have those for a minute, I believe, but we do have some live programming going this week. We'll have the Sean Fox Show tomorrow. Wednesday night, you'll catch Sean Fox breaking down some NBA. He's going to start at 7 p.m. Of course, you'll catch Ramon Scott at 9 a.m. and me at 6 p.m. doing our thing. We'll float back into we'll put it back into Thursday, where we do the Thursday night football live stream out there, and then Friday we'll kind of be regroup, recharge, and get ready because the UFC card, Abu Dhabi, Dibby Dabby, they'll be popping off at 9:45 a.m. on Saturday morning. So get ready, get set. There's a new show popping off on Sunday. It's going to become your final destination for all of things betting related, and trying to just give you guys valuable insight with all the tools and technology that we utilize here, the experience to try to put it all together, bringing in experienced guests, new names across the stratosphere to try to come up with just new betting strategies, new winning strategies, more winning strategies is probably the best way to describe it. So, excuse me, stay tuned. Big changes ahead with Sports Money, and I think it's all for the better, as it's going to be a ton of fun. Fun we had last night. The card I gave out here, we lost a half a unit. So I don't know. We were up 5 or 6 over the weekend, Friday through Sunday. And then we lost a half here. That sucks. We cashed the Lions minus 5.5. That was an easy casher. Told you guys that was going to cash. No sweat, no problem. I lost my Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He had 3 tries at it, and he just couldn't get there. And the under 5.5 in the Flyers game got nuked. I gave out the Flyers unwinnable. I really I told you guys, good defense, bad offense for Seattle. I didn't expect the Flyers to go out there and put up a 5-pack. That sucked. In fact, I live bet the under 6.5 just so we're all on the same page, and they ended up 5-2, so I couldn't even catch that. Scheifele gets his point. I told you guys about the Mark Scheifele point, but Lafreniere does not, so we did not cash the parlay. And talk about short. We were 12 yards short on Jared Goff's over 261.5 passing yards and the Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. Got that touchdown right away. This is juiced, minus 125. What's the fun in giving that out? I guess there's 2 ways to look at it, but if you're betting Connor McDavid to score a goal, you're down over a dime to start the season. And I don't believe in these minus 125 touchdown props. So the Canadians 1-4-2 over the Sabres. It was an easy casher for us. And shout out, I feel like we willed this one into the ether, was a Springer Dinger. And Toronto comes back and wins the game 4-3. We had the Toronto and the under for the Jorge Kirby 3.5 strikeouts. That was a plus 187. 187. I told you I get excited when I see those 3 numbers pop up for parlay bets. And the Winnipeg Jets cashed, and the over 5.5 did not parlay for a plus 206. So we took some big swings and we missed. But we didn't kill ourselves. Everything's a flat unit. We try to bet responsibly so that we can stay in the fight and live the fight another day. Damn it, though, that plus 700 would have been fun. That'd have been a bit of a game changer for me. I had a couple hundo on that thing, and it would have been nice to cash a couple grand. The cash outs sucked. I was talking to Vitalis earlier today just about the cash outs and the books and how they get you. And we're not a cash out family. So bottom line is, I'd rather live bet the other side. And the cash out was I don't know. What's 1/7? 12%, 14%, something like that. 1/6 is 18%. So 1/7 is 14%, 13%. That's bullshit. Fuck you. Give me 13%. And it was at halftime. So anyways, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That being said, though, we do have a big show lined up before we even get moving. You guys know what the most important thing to do is to help us grow. I'm excited for the growth that we have. I'm excited for the new things coming down the pike. The new resources that want to collaborate here with Sports Money. And I think this is a reflection of what we've done since the get-go here. As we've grown, as we've built, no nonsense, trying to keep a positive environment where we appreciate and support each other. And I think you guys have done a terrific job with that. So I want to thank you guys as we continue to move. We're trying to get to 1,700 subscribers. Just a short year and some change ago, we had 2 subscribers, MMA Jeff and I. So I appreciate you guys rolling with us. And there's lots of ways to support the squad. You know the deal. We've got membership levels available here to say, hey, thanks for what we're doing. But we try to get that reinvested. We want to do the merchandise giveaways. We want to continue to improve the graphics, improve the technology that we're bringing to you guys from a stream perspective to just make it a more enjoyable experience. So we love the memberships. We love the donos. And of course, you can find our absolute best plays, the ones that we love the most, the ones that we've gone maybe a little heavier on. You can find those over at Winnable. So if you haven't done it yet, consider checking it out. You can certainly sign up for free plays and text alerts. I've got one out there. Free play pays about $110 right now. And it's simple. All you got to do is go in there, punch your phone number in there, hit the free plays choice package. And when you ask for how you want to be notified, you hit text alerts. You have emails or text alert options, or you can just not be notified and check the site out. But if you do sign up for the text alerts, you'll never miss the plays as soon as they get dropped. That way you maximize, ensure that you get the best line that's out there. Hey, it's Mikey Money here, letting you know the Sports Money team is live on Winnable. Come check out our best bets.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays, and they're sent right to your phone right when we drop them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Just looking at the action that I've got in store for you guys tonight. It's funny. I was originally thinking I'll wait to give some Golden State action out. And then in the last hour, I added 3 plays for that Golden State game. A plus 255, a plus 244. I'm sorry, 4 plays. A plus 255, a plus 244, a plus 105, and a minus 105 for that Golden State game. So it looks like your boy, Mikey Money, is going to be up watching some NBA for that 10 p.m. pop-off here. But I'm going to give a play out that's a plus 140. Moved a little bit against the number I thought we'd have in the first place. But it's okay. Like I said, excited to share the action with you guys tonight. I think we do have ourselves a pleasant evening of games ahead. I love a full hockey slate. That gets me fired up. And man, I made an overnight bet. I don't know if you guys enjoy the Korean basketball and stuff like that, but if you do, throw one in the chat. I'll share some of those overnight plays that I put out there. Maybe I'll make them free plays over on Winnable. Maybe I'll throw, I don't know. I'll tell you what, it's a little cumbersome. It's a little clunky for me to add the overlay and then upload it to the community post tab. And then when I did that on Sunday, I got 10 likes. So time consuming, free plays, winning plays, maybe not worth the effort. But I'll slide them over in the Winnable side of things for the free plays if you guys think those will be beneficial. It cashed last night. I didn't see the final score. I just woke up and saw that it cashed. I was like, that's the definition of wake and cash. So let's do that. You guys know the deal here. Let's build this damn community and keep it moving in the right direction. You guys have been tremendous. We're all gelling. We're all growing. I believe today is the day of days. I think today marks the 2-month anniversary or 2-year anniversary of carving out this 6 p.m. niche, this 6 p.m. space. And a multitude of places that we were doing it at, but you guys have all been terrific in showing up and showing the support. And I believe today is the 2-year anniversary. So in any event, thank you guys all for joining us on this journey. Help us continue to grow. Tell a friend. Tell a family member. Tell a sibling. Tell the dog. Tell the postman. Hey, you want to go get some winning sports bets? Go check them boys out at Sports Money. They got something cooking over there, and they're fun guys to watch while they're doing it. So the way you do that, not only is word of mouth, but smashing the thumbs up button if you haven't done so. We're at that point of the show. We're going to talk about the chat, the best damn chat in the business, and we're going to look at these plays that are going on out there. But we start off, as always, a reminder, please, if you enjoy the content, if you're tailing plays, if you're fading plays, just smash the thumbs up button. Let us know you're here. That's all it takes. A quick second.
Are you sure this is legal?
I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Kind of slowly became, you know what's funny? So after the show was done last night, sorted some business out and went to hit the hay, and guess what was on? Kingpin from the very first credit drop, very first intro second. I was like, oh shit. So I popped it on. I just kind of sat there in bed with one eye open, watching what was happening there. And man, there's so many good parts in that movie. So many good parts. But anyhow, let's go. You guys know the deal. Put the best bets in the chat. Let's see what you guys have to say. Let's give you guys this shout out. And we're going to shout out Commenter numero uno is back in the saddle. He's ready to attack. He's got the Sharks Sharks Islanders first period over 1.5 for Jover. He likes the Canucks Penguins game over for Jover. And Jover, we love you, man. Appreciate you being back in the chat. Hope all is well on the family front, and we know you'll be back joining us on screen soon. Bo Jackson says, let's go, Jays. God damn right, Bo Jackson. We were literally saying Springer Dinger for his 3 at-bats until he got it. And then literally, was it the 7th inning? Crack! Springer Dinger. What a great spot. I gave out a live bet on the team total under 3.5 for Seattle Mariners. It was like a plus 120. Got a little sweaty. My 4-2 didn't cash. And I live bet it. It was 22-1 when I just, it wasn't a crazy bet, but it was a fun bet. And then I was like, oh, they got 2 runs. This could be it. Well, the Jays got their 4, but sadly, Seattle got 3. That being said, though, the under 3.5 cash, and I still was able to be profitable. So shout out to them Jays, Bo Jackson. On your way, says the Commissioner's Trophy's coming back home to Toronto. Shout out to David Wallace and Nicholas Handy. There's my friend Joe Dub in the house, rocking and representing. Nasty Nate says, Joe, what price did you get on the first period over? I did want to comment too. Speaking of first period overs, we laughed on Sunday because, we've been together long enough. We're all buddies here. And when we were laughing, MMA Jeff and I were talking about, well, Jeff predominantly, but we were talking about Razors giving first period over in Vegas. Let's do it. So we all did it. As guys were joining the stream last night, we were like, make sure you get on the first period over. That son of a bitch cashed in like 10 minutes, 9 minutes and some change on the game, I believe, in the Vegas first period over cashed. So it wasn't just, you don't just watch the live streams for the games that are happening, but the live betting, of course, we are a live betting show, contrary to popular opinion, and the future bets as well. And I don't mean future bets like the Penguins are going to win the Stanley Cup. I mean future bets, and that's not what I'm giving out. I'm just being facetious. But I mean, hey, we're going to talk about games that are going on throughout the week that have our eyes. And so that was a lot of fun as that Vegas first period over cashed. SF Niners in the house. What's up, brother? He says Sangoon over 8.5 rebounds. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey? Let's cash again. SF Niner likes his over 5.5 assists for Sangoon as well. There's M the Great likes Rui. I love that basketball's back. I can't believe I'm saying that. 2 things I couldn't believe I'm saying. 1, how damn profitable we were in baseball this season. And 2, Jesus, this, you know what I want to look at real quick? I want to look at it. The fuck? I got a few minutes. I just want to take a look back here because we're getting down to the wire and I want to see where we're at with baseball. I'm just going to jump into BetStamp. I'm going to apply the filter. Let's go down to baseball. 141.7. Nope. Sorry. That's the NBA aggregate. 153 units in the MLB. I don't think we're going to get to 200, but that's pretty darn good. That is pretty darn good. We're showing an ROI of 12%, and we got some CLV. I don't ever really talk about CLV, but 0.2%. That's incredible. With 1 series to go, we would need 47 units to get. I don't think that's that. First of all, I never want to say never, but it's not going to happen. Because I'm not going to come in here and give you guys a 10-unit play and have you risk your bankroll, right? I mean, we want to grow this thing and grind it. We don't want to go out there and expose ourselves to one losing play and all of a sudden we just imploded our bankrolls. And, as my friend Sharpie likes to say, we're lactose intolerant under the bridge looking for milk money. You know what I mean? Shout out to my guy Sharpie. David says money MF Mike Sangoon over 31.5 PRA for SF Niner. He's rolling in on Sangoon. I like that play. I'll talk about a little Sangoon spot tonight. Bo Jackson says teams coming off a 7-game championship series are 4-0 versus teams that swept. And Joe W says, what happened to Sub last night? Good friend. SF Niner says Dodgers lose. And Reeves over 10.5. Rebounds and assists for SF Niner. I think SF Niner is a big-time basketball fan. I'm looking to see what he does this season. Nasty Nate says, yeah, show support. Robert McCormick's here. Mike's in the house says, that's huge, Bo. JW says, what's up, scumbags? Nicholas Handy says, Sangoon double-double plus 135. The Futon Bets likes Luca, king of the court. And Alex Caruso under 2.5 rebounds. There's so many fun ways to play the NBA. My fun thing is, I told you guys before, 5 guys. 5 guys is your stable of hosts. You put them together, and throughout the season, because they're not all going to play on the same night, you'll be able to start lassoing some guys together. I'll show you tonight what the hell I'm talking about. And I'm still looking at developing the stable. So we're still actively recruiting. Jerry Davis in the house. What up, Jerry? He says 8 and 13 points and 10 boards plus 125. And look at all you guys with the ones. All right. When I start making some, I don't do it often. I'm not fucking full-fledged degenerate, but I am a degenerate. And so when I do make some of these overnight plays, I'll make sure to drop them in the free plays for you guys. yeah, why not? If you guys want to see him, I just want to give you guys the content you're looking for. Stop Geo says, thank you for the live MNF show last night. My guy, Mikey Money, my Lions onward to the Super Bowl. Wishful thinking, he says. They look good. They look damn good, man. And Tampa Bay just, well, look, not going to say Tampa Bay's a mess from an injury perspective, so it's hard to discount it. Nicholas Haney says, damn, been 2 years already. Time flies. Yeah, dude. It was literally the third week on a Monday of October, not last year, but the year prior, that I had the fortunate opportunity to join a team of huge subscribers, flowing. And this whole thing started to come together. The Futon Bets has been here since day one, my brother. You sir have. Gary Ferenc says, hey, guys, let's win some money. Mikey says 730 days. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, is that 2 years? Yeah. Says, I thought it was after the World Series when you started. It was a Monday. It might have been. No, it was the third Monday of October 2 years ago. Someone fact check me on that date. I'll see what that is. You guys are putting more ones in there. All right, I see it. All right, make sure you guys do go to Winnable. If you're not already subscribed for the free plays, make sure you go check it. I try to drop one in there every day. Look, some are good, some aren't, but I try to give you guys my kind of first cut. So Gary Ferenc says Predators and Kennesaw State. Paul Romero says clip idea for those late nights shared streams when people occasionally get a little sauce. Groundhog's Day. Who else could go for? Dude, that's a great one. That's a great one. Who else can go for some flapjacks? That's a great one, dude. Oh, that's a great call, Paul. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Guys, we are actively trying. Look at, I take the feedback. I didn't do anything today, just full disclosure, but I did have 2 or 3 that were shot out there last night. So we want to make it fun. You know, we like to have a good time, and them buttons, everybody likes to hit a button when they win or when new guests come on. So thank you, Paul Romero, much like he did. If you guys have some clip ideas for the shows, let us know. I'll get out there. I'll see if I can find them. Nicholas Handy says Sangoon double Islanders in regulation. And Devils Leafs, both teams to score 2+. You know, that's an interesting bet that I'm going to have to start looking at. Nasty Nate says, wait, Mike, you give out live bets? No, not at all. Not at all. Bo Jackson says, my season tickets are coming in clutch. Tickets are over $3,000 per game. Damn, dude. Shout out to you, Bo Jackson. Shout out my friend, Bo Jackson. Jerry Davis says, I watched Kingpin once. Enjoyed it, but I can't watch these types of flicks again with a few exceptions, like Waterboy, Talladega Nights, and Happy Gilmore. Yeah, you got to be in the right mood. You got to be in the right mood for sure. Bo Jackson says, I'll be at game 1 on Friday. Shout out to you, Bo. We'll be rooting for you. Joe T, got to get you a sports money sign and see if you could hold that up for us. That'd be fucking cool. Joe T's giving out the number that he got it at for the first period over in the Islanders game. Does the scumbag ritual work in chat only? Or does it work? J-Dub. It's like Beetlejuice. Matter of fact, I'm going to break that one down. The 3X scumbag Beetlejuice. And we'll see if we can't get some dudes' faces on it. All right. Kennesaw State for the chosen one. Nasty Nate's got OKC in the second quarter. He had to take a -140. I think he's talking about Joe T's play. Got the price about an hour and a half ago. Jerry Davis says, I just hammered the Blue Jays +185 for the series, hoping I lose my bet. I would rather win a chip versus money. Robert McCormick says Kennesaw State versus FIU under 49.5. Sancho's got the Dodgers back-to-back. Mike says Vegas doesn't want to pay all that future money out on the Dodgers. Nobody had Toronto. Stop Geoengineering says, weren't we, though, 2 6 starting cornerbacks were out both? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't want to discount the defense, but when you're playing an offense, you got to be able to go out there and fire back, right? That's kind of where the Bills struggle against teams like Kansas City. They just don't have enough depth in the offense. And then when defenses roll over, you got to match fire with fire. Iron sharpens iron, I think is what they say. Jerry Davis got FIU +3, La Tech -3. La Tech game, first half under 26. Trevor Davis over in the FIU game. And Sancho says Leafs money line. Bo Jackson likes his Raptors to upset tomorrow. Hot city strategy. Seattle showed that last night. Kelly V pointed that out. Said hot city strategy. Now the Kraken got busted up. As did the Mariners. But look, city was hot and the home team was the Seahawks. So shout out to KV. I did tell her Jackson Smith-Njigba touchdown. And I gave her the Woody Marks over 15.5 receiving yards. They both cashed. Bo Jackson says Darko Rajovic is 3-1 with the Raptors versus the Hawks on the road in his coaching career. My friend's bringing in stats. I love it, you guys. Let's get to business. We'll move pretty quickly through the card. We got to keep a brisk pace, as my friend Mr. Loshak used to say. Keep a brisk pace, keep it moving. We'll talk about Vancouver and Pittsburgh to start the show off. A friendly reminder, we are live on Instagram. I'm going to start putting some things out there. Did it for baseball, and then as things got crunch time for football and stuff like that, I kind of waned off it a little bit. But they say that's the best place to grow an audience. And I'm always trying to do some recruiting to help us find more like-minded individuals that want to go out there and make some money. The Canucks and the Penguins will try to make some money tonight with Lankinen in goal versus Silovs, the former Vancouver Canuck. Excuse me. Protege, 2.9 goals allowed for Lankinen, 2.67 for Silovs. This is a pretty close game, and you can see it reflected in the line that they're putting out there for this thing. The Canucks are on a 3-game winner. And the Penguins, especially coming off a West Coast trip, they're on a 2-game winner. And they're using a good 1-2 punch with their goaltending. Tristan Jarry is 100 years old. Silov's going to be the future at 23 years old. And look, he's 2.67, as I mentioned. Streak versus streak. What do you do? I think in this case, you got to look at these two teams. You got to look at kind of who they've been playing and what they've been doing. And we've got the Penguins coming back home from their little roadie, and we've got the Vancouver Canucks on the other side on this roadie. And I guess that's kind of where I thought this thing began. Canucks are 3-1 on the road. And of course, the Penguins are 1-1. Shut up, by the way. The fucking Rangers at home. What is going on? What in the devil is going on? I think this is a potential letdown spot for the Vancouver Canucks for 2 reasons. One, we've got a rest advantage for the Penguins. The favorite team with the rest advantage, 9-1 in its last 10 games in the NHL. It's a favorite for a reason, even though it's a small favorite. I guess it's not really a favorite. I don't know. I guess you can define what you call a favorite. Let me share the number with you. Let me share what I got. You guys can come back and tell me. It's a favorite. It's a fucking favorite. It's minus 109. I think there's minus 110s out there too. But here's the thing. You look at this roadie. This is now the fourth game on the road for the Vancouver Canucks. And they beat the likes of Dallas. It was a big win against Dallas. That was at Dallas. And then they beat the Capitals at Washington. That's been running hot. Now you got the lowly Penguins coming into this thing. And they're on the second leg, right? They're on that 1 day's rest situation for Vancouver. Penguins, on the other hand of things, this is their first game back, but they've had 3 days off. This is their third day. I should say they've had 2 days off. This will be their first game in 3 days. And they went 2-1 on that West Coast trip. They lost to Anaheim. Still, Sean Fox and I were talking last night about Anaheim and where do they fit in the equation for me. But they beat the Kings and they beat the Sharks. Were they playing great teams? No. But they're 3-2 in their last 5. And to me, the big takeaway with this one of those losses was against the Rangers. Let's not forget they went into New York and stunned New York in their season opener. So I think as the season progresses and unwinds, so will Pittsburgh as they are aged legs. But I do believe that they've got this opportunity. I'm going to ride that 9-1 streak to kick this thing off here. I think we got a good price. It's like I said last night with Vegas. We're getting a good team at the moment, situationally, at a really good price tag. And I think you got to respect that. So we'll take the Penguins to kick the card off. We'll keep her moving here as we roll on to game number 2, because I got a little doozy for you guys. I got a little doozy. I was going to say a little Debbie. You guys know what little Debbies are. If you're a Philly area guy, you do. Seattle Kraken, second leg of the back-to-back. The Washington Capitals. Well, fresh off of getting busted up. It's pretty straightforward. Are we looking for a bounce back spot? The team's 4-2, but look, they beat the Islanders, they beat the Rangers, they beat the Lightning, they beat the Wild. They're finding a way to be productive. Now, the question is, with this price tag, what the heck do you do? How do you approach it? Well, we always start. Let's take a peek at these goalies. Again, I've told you guys, if you're new to betting hockey, goalies against GAA, goals against average, very much like an ERA. This is going to be the first start, though. This is the big difference. Logan Thompson's the number one guy for the Washington Capitals, and he's playing like it. He's got a 1.75 goals against average. For baseball, think about goals against average for goaltenders, probably 2.5 is average. 2.6 is probably average because we see a shitload of guys in the threes. And that 2.6 to 3 is like serviceable. But sometimes I think between that 2.4 and 2.6 is probably that's the Mendoza. I'm just going to guess that right now. I don't have any data to show it. I just know from fucking 35, 40 years of hockey that tends to be a fact. So that being said, playing great. And on the other side of things, Kraken now got busted up last night. They were a small dog, but they got busted up 5-2. And I told you guys last night, what's the Kraken's problem? They score almost league low in goals, and they allow league high in defense. So it's a bad formula against a team that's looking to bounce back in the Washington Capitals. Furthermore, first start of the season, newcomer Matt Murray to the squad. So we know that Joey Decord is the guy for the Seattle Kraken. Are they going to bounce back, or have they been living on borrowed time, borrowed air? It's my estimation that this is the bounce back spot for the Caps. Problem is, how are you going to play them? This is one of them rarefied spots where I'm going to take that puck line. And we talked a little bit for the first 2 weeks of the season and analyzed the puck line efficiency versus not. The difference for me in this one just has to do with, again, not scoring for the Kraken, scoring for the Capitals, best guy in goal for one of the best goalies to start the season off out there on top of it. And could you go regulation? Yeah. It's minus 125. So I thought that you get more ROI in the play by taking the shot, because this is one of those spots where the Capitals are playing stingy hockey. 6 games, 12 goals given up. 25 shots on goal, by the way. They're firing and they're playing great defense. Now you want some trends behind it, because we're getting back to the trend time of the year. The Kraken, when they are on that second leg of a back-to-back, no rest, second leg of back-to-back, they are 0-14. And I know I discounted it the first 2 weeks of the season because it's the first 2 weeks of the season. But we got like 7 games under the belt now. We're past that first kind of initial jaunt where they're just excited to be playing hockey. Now they're getting in the grind, and this is a team that's on the road, and they're 0-14. Straight up. They're 1-13 on the puck line. They're not just 1-13 on the puck line. They're losing on average 2.6 goals a game. So I think this is a terrific bounce back opportunity. We take a shot with these boys, try to get the big swing. Yeah, you can, like I said, you can go regulation, but when you have the margin like this in goals, are we going to be right all the time? No. Shit, you could go minus 2.5 at plus 225 if you want to have a little fun, or even consider the -2. So give that some consideration as we look at the hockey card this evening. But I like this Caps team to go out there and fire. Jerry Davis does like the Caps in regulation, and the Kraken under 2.5 goals. He says that becomes a minus 105. JW says the Kraken exists. That's their problem. What up, J Main? JW says, love little diabetes. Diabetes. What is that? Sancho, Devils Leafs over 5.5. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up if you haven't done so. You're just coming in here, checking us out, looking to see what we're doing, what we're all about. Oh, what I'm all about is trying to get the finger to click the button all in the same sequence of time here. And the last hockey game I got for you guys here in the NHL tonight. Yes, it's a big slate. Yes, I'll probably be firing later on in the evening, but I got to look at this Dallas Stars and Columbus Blue Jackets team. It's Merzlikins who will get the nod for the Jackets, and it's Ottinger for the Devils. Number 1 versus number 1. I think this is a motivational spot. Or not a motivational spot, but an opportunity. You look at the schedule. You look at Ottinger. Here's the steal. 2.95 goals against average. I surmise by the mid-season point, he'll be down around 2.6. So I think, He just had it still found 3-1. And I told you, this ain't your dad's Dallas Stars anymore. They've been firing goals all over the place. The flip side of things, one of the shittiest offenses in hockey, Columbus Blue Jackets. Fact. We'll talk about it in a second. Emmers Leakins has given up 3.53 goals against average. By the end of the year, he'll probably be a little bit better, but that's who I think he is. And yeah, he's got a 92% save percentage, but they're stopping. They're getting in front of pucks. They're doing a good job defensively. They just, as far as their game plan is concerned, they're finding themselves getting outscored. And you got Dallas now, 2-game losing streak, getting outscored themselves. So I talked about that red hot offense to start the season. Now they're finding themselves in an outscored position, and that's where I want to fire on this game. I know. Look, my unders, I took that fucking Flyers game last night. It was ugly. And I took it live, too, which was just... J-Dub says, you've never heard of Little Debbie's? Brandon the Great says, I have one bet I want to make. Sengun double-double plus 140. Am I tripping? That's the play I gave out last night. That is the play I gave out last night. Jerry Davis says, anybody else hate taking an over when it's lined at 5.5? I think about it. But I've gotten cooked on a couple of these 5.5s. Brandon the Great says, oh, someone gave it in the chat. Nice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll talk some NBA here momentarily. But just kind of putting the bow on this thing here, we do have some intersecting zeros, and we love our intersecting zeros. They're very good. Some would say great. Columbus 15-0 to the under when they are rested in a road rematch. If they got less than 5 goals the previous time. Rematch versus revenge. If they beat the team the last time, they're in a rematch situation. If they lost to the team the last time, they're in a revenge situation, right? The difference is they're averaging 4.2 goals in that total game. Columbus. Team not scoring in a rematch, 15-0 to the under, averaging 4.2 goals. In the dog roll with a total over a 6, they are also 8-0 to the under. They are averaging 4.3 goals per game. I love the margins because we're looking at over 2 goals of margin. Gives you the option if you want to consider a 6 or even some live betting if we get a couple scores early. The Stars intersect the zeros for us because in the favorite role against a rested team that averaged less than 20 shots on goal, team's not shooting, they're the favorite, the other team's got rest, they're 9-0 to the under. And they're averaging 4.2 goals a game. So the only way I could think to play this game for me was this under 6. A 6. It's not the only way. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'd consider fucking rolling it all out on Dallas everywhere. You know what I'll give you guys one more play. I'll give you one more play. Dallas Stars and the Washington Capitals came out to a plus 110. Put this in here so I don't forget to track it. Plus 110. There's a bonus play for the NHL. I like Dallas in the under 6.5. I like Dallas minus 1.5 in the under 6.5. Dallas in regulation. I don't care. However you want to play Dallas. Get some time on Dallas. Should Columbus go out there? I think these boys are in bounce back mode on their home ice. Maybe 4-1 type of game. If I was going to call a score. Although I called one last night and it didn't come out. So. There's an extra play for you guys in the NHL. So we got the Penguins. We got the Caps minus 1.5. We got Dallas under 6.5. We got the Washington and Dallas parlay at plus 110. Just trying to keep the VIG down and try to maximize our, our ROI on these plays. Moving on, we'll get to some college football. Then we will move over to some NBA. I was going to say NFL. Get into some NBA and then get after it. Kennesaw State. 4-2 on the season. That 2-0 is conference. In conference, they are 2-0. Florida International 3-3 and a feisty 1-1 in conference play. And the reason I'm going to take the dog is what we're going to talk about here in this space. I love the fact that they're at home. And do I think the wrong team is favored? Now, this line's moved a little bit here. Late movement. It's not true movement. They're trying to head fake you. And this is where I think it's important. Why do I say head fake? Because there's still 3s at minus 110s. The 3.5's got juice on it. So they're trying to show you with 77% of the bets and 96% of the cash that it's reverse line movement. we'll throw the flag on the field there and say, upon further review, that's a little bit of a head fake. Now, the fact is there's still a predominant number of threes out there. I don't think you need the hook. 49.5s come down to 48.5s. 54% of the bets, 59% of the cash are on this over, and it's come down a point. Typically in a tight squeeze like this, where the Owls open at +1.5, and they are now -3, we'll look at the money line to see if there's any kind of indication going on down there. And 77% of the bets and 81% of the cash are looking at the Kennesaw State Owls. This Kennesaw State Owls. And it's moved from -106 to -155. So yeah, there's a little bit of movement there. But for me, when I looked at the 3, I thought to myself, what's going on here? Well, I think that the general public's looking at this thing and they love the fact that Kennesaw State's on a winning streak right now. They beat 4 teams in a row. They're stopping. There's no way this busted up, stymied little FIU squad can come out there and shock the world. And I know it's not shock the world, but Kennesaw State 2-0 in Conference USA play is definitely one of the strongers. But as you pop it open, you see they beat La Tech, who's going to be playing in a minute. So we'll see La Tech in a bounce back spot. They beat a shitty Middle 10 team. I don't know why I like. I told you guys before. One of the number one cover teams, maybe 3 years ago, the number one cover team in all of the land was Middle Tennessee State. At least for like 14 weeks of the season. They beat a shitty Arkansas State team, and they beat a Merrimack squad in the FCS. But their margin they're not winning. The La Tech game was a big one. And I think what happens here is you come up against a La Tech team that's a big one. And now you're kind of due for that letdown, having to go on the road. This is their first road game in a month. And yeah, that winning streak looks great, but now you start to kind of peel the covers back. It'll be the first time they go on the road as a favorite in FBS ranked play. That's kind of a big letdown opportunity. And meanwhile, you've got FIU on the other side of things. They're coming into this thing and they're thinking, hey, who the hell are you, man? They've covered 3 straight home games as a dog, and 2 of them were outright wins. So do I want to get overly excited about a team that doesn't score in the fourth quarter? They rank 126th in college football in fourth quarter points. No, we're kind of fucked if they're down. But I think they come out early, and I think they punch them in the mouth, and I think they give them a boat race. Not a boat race, but a dog fight, I guess is the better way I should say it. Probably what I think happens in this game is it's Florida International goes up, Kennesaw State comes back. Why do I say that? Because Kennesaw State, 9th overall in college football in quarter 2 opportunities, I guess is what it comes down to. So look, the big difference for me, and I've talked about this before, when the team can run versus a team that's kind of one-dimensional with the pass, what happens? You're at home. You're gaining 6.7 yards a carry on the ground. You're chunking yards. You're running the clock. Furthermore, on Tuesdays, the less rested Tuesday dog, 8-1. I kind of butchered that, didn't I? The less rested Tuesday dogs are 8-1 in their last 9 spots on Tuesday. And I think it creates an opportunity for us where I believe the wrong team is favored. So that's the way we want to get after this game. I believe FIU goes out there. I like an under. I'm not mad about anybody that wants to play an under. And Jerry Davis says, exactly, Mikey. Love FIU at Pitbull Stadium. Markel. I didn't even know college football was on today. Too worried about NBA. These are going to be games where you have on in the background while you watch the NBA. That's what's going to happen there. Jerry Davis says, I also did a 6-point teaser on FIU in the under 56. I like that. I like you teased up and not down, Jerry Davis. This is Kennesaw State most returning defensive snaps in college football. He likes the under, but FIU is live at home. And Ramon Scott is in the chat. He says, Kennesaw State's 0-10 straight up in its last 10 games on the road. I love that number right there. I heard you mention that earlier today, Ramon. I'm down. I'm in and I'm down. Nasty Nate. He's going to tease up. Or are you going to tease down? He's going to go Kennesaw State +4 in the under. So we all kind of like this under. Little consensus, it looks like, for this being a lower scoring game. I just think you're in trouble. This game's going to be fought in the trenches, and the best team in this conference to do it, them boys. Wish I could find who put me on this fucking spam list. I tell you what I would do. I'd spend my time finding their phone number, and I'd be calling. I'd purposely get up at like 2 p.m, and I'd stay up till like 6 a.m. and I'd be calling them all night from midnight to like 6 a.m. Just bang, 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 bang. I'd pay somebody to spam them. That's what I would do. Onward, upward. Western Kentucky is the other football game on tonight against that La Tech team, the aforementioned La Tech. Oh, is my mouse dying? Stop dying, mouse. Stop dying, mouse. We'll get into the trends and the cash flow on this one here because we've got some numbers to work with here. This line opened up the Hilltoppers. 3.5, so I've moved to 4. I feel this is one of them little head fakers again. 57% of the bets and 82% of the cash. So the bigger bets are coming in on the Hilltoppers. They moved it to a 4 with a little bit of juice on it. 3-1 in Conference USA is Western Kentucky. La Tech comes into this one 2-1. Slight rest situation with a total that's dropping. Now, the drop is what you got to notice here. I believe this one's a pretty legit situation. 52.5s come down to 50s on its way to 49.5s. 69% of the bets and 73% of the cash sitting there on the under. And so it's correlated line movement. You got a 3-point move. I really was struggling with this one for a couple of reasons. I discounted Western Kentucky. Where did I do it? I discounted them against Delaware. I thought Delaware coming into this conference, first time in the FBS, playing the likes of a team that should go out there and run the Conference USA, that they're in a position where they're going to go out there and Delaware's going to fuck. Delaware's not eligible for bowls or not playoffs or anything like that because of the fact that they're new. And then what happens after that game? Well, there's that feisty little FIU team that we just talked about, and they smacked them 25-6, predominantly led by an underscoring ground game, which put this Western Kentucky team on their heels. And what's the biggest difference? What hurts a team like Western Kentucky the most? Creating a one-dimensional spot. And because FIU was able to run the ground, force this team to have to air the ball out, they are running their sharpest when they can do it like a blended approach, running and passing. Just use one to set up the other. Well, now you're playing a team in La Tech that only gives up 17 points a game. I round, it's 17.2. That ranks some La Tech's defense 20th in all of college football. Argue who they play, but you can only play who's in front of you, and you're playing teams in your conference. So push that argument to the side. I don't buy it. Now, yeah, if they go out there and play Notre Dame, are they going to get boat raced? Probably. Ohio State? Probably, right? Consensus the other night was Ohio State's probably going to win the national championship again. La Tech's defense, incredible. They're good early. Second down plays, average versus expectation. They rank very high, 9th across success rate. Just a great defense out there from a La Tech perspective. And excuse me, coming into this one, well, what do we know about that La Tech situation? They just got thumped by Kennesaw State. So this is a big game. And then who do they have next on deck? Shitty, absolutely shitty Sam Houston Bearcats, whatever a Bearcat is. Then they got that Delaware team on the road. And then they kind of get into some of the meat of the schedule with Washington State and Liberty before finishing up down the line. So my point is, there's no reason to hold back. And if you're a defensive unit coming into this thing, you go out there and you give these boys everything they have. Returning back home, situationally speaking, I think it's a good La Tech spot, just looking at that potential bounce back. But, they're coming in off the bye on top of it, so they're rested, they're fresh. And because they can take that team and replicate that FIU, who's middle of the pack, right? and replicate that formula, well, I think they have an opportunity. Western Kentucky does average 30 points a game this season, but when you put them onto a one-cylinder situation, they struggle. Last week, 6 points at home against that FIU squad. Quarterback, not the finest of guys. 3 interceptions and just 159 yards in that spot out there. So when you force him to pass, he gets in trouble. All of that diatribe for me looks at a team total under. Take Western Kentucky's team total under. I expect a letdown spot against. I think exactly what's going to happen there is they're going to get forced to pass the ball. And when you put the ball in the quarterback's hands, the turnovers are vulnerable. I didn't want to take the full game under because what if La Tech does boat race these guys? If this game's fought in the trenches and it's a tight spot, then I'm okay with that too. But that's the way I'm going to close up the college football shop tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that breakdown. Like I said, primetime, we've been doing great with these college football games. Where I've struggled is Saturday afternoon. So I'm going to try to get better this Saturday afternoon. We'll see if I can't do just that. Our work's going to be cut out for us. Let's see what you guys have to say about that. Nasty Nate gave his teaser. Mike says Kennesaw State then. Jerry Davis says La Tech I hate, but I think they get it done. Jerry Davis, Delaware quarterback, is too mistake prone, is what let Western Kentucky win. I like that you can come up with a reason for that too. That means a lot. You know, like if it's just a bad game, that's one thing. But if there's a particular weak link in the chain, T Smooth says, I like Amon Thompson. PRA's over 27.5. Magnifico. What up, brother? Nicholas Handy says, my info says Sengun had 50 double-doubles last season. Thunder are only running 2 true centers. Thought I had faith. All right. He grabs 10 rebounds. Could get it with assist too, says Magnifico. And Nicholas Handy says Mike Cash early third quarter. Okay. Let's get into opening night. The NBA, the Houston Rockets, the OKC Thunder. Thunder from down under. Just kidding. They're not from down under. But this line opened at 8. It's moved to 6.5, 63% of the bets and 68% of the cash. I told you guys I get sharp respected betting reports. Excuse me. I'm trying to let the information kind of mature a little bit before we just go out there and fire. So that we can see what kind of record it has here, because I get like the most bet side, I get the most bet total, and then I get kind of like some other ones in there too. But I just want to see what it does. It's fucking first night of basketball. So bear with me as we grow the material in the database. 8's moved to 6.5, 63% of the bets and 68% of the cash. Well, they're taking the points. They're taking the Rockets. And this total, some weird line movement. There's a couple 227.5s out there, but there's a bunch of 225.5s and some degrees along the way. 81% of the bets and 83% of the cash are on the over. Now, what do we know about preseason? What do we know about current season, early start NBA games? They like to go under. What do you know about the way I like to play? When you got 2 island spots, I believe in the zigzag. Last night, I thought the first Detroit game, the Detroit NFL game, would go over, and I thought the second game there, the Houston game, would go under. Well, it did zigzag. I was just on the wrong sides. And so I'll talk about the second game and say the entire fucking universe has bet the Golden State Warriors game under. The universe has. I mean, the universe. And so the way I'm going to apply my zigzag is to flip it, reverse it, turn it around, and try to be the guy that if I got to be on an island, so be it. So hint, hint, what I'm doing with the second game. I told you I've got 4 plays for that Golden State game. Hint, hint, we'll talk about it in a second. So if I think the second game goes over, and I believe in the zigzag in the island games, that means this first game's got to go under. Now, we know there's a ton of injury situations going on out there, and this is why some of these opportunities like Sengun present themselves a great opportunity from a rebounding perspective. And on top of that, new players in the lineup, new personnel for Houston Rockets. Going to take a little bit of time to figure that thing out. Fucking Kevin Durant. I don't know. How many is this guy going to set a record for number 2? I wish Ramon was here live with me, because I would tell him or ask him, Ramon, how many teams has the most guy ever played for in the NBA? I'm probably phrased that poorly. But look, you look down the line, obviously we know about SGA. We know about Kevin Durant coming into this thing. We know about Sengun out there. And then we have to start looking at some of these, I don't know. We got Holmgren, we got Hartenstein, and there's a good, I think that both these teams are going to be competitive this year. And Rockets fucking kicked ass through the preseason. So you need to know that. They went on a 4-game tear. They went 3-1 against the spread. The only team they struggled against was the New Orleans Pelicans. It was on the road. It was the first road travel spot. And then they went into the Atlanta, and they thumped Atlanta. They embarrassed them and disrespected them to close out the preseason. So important things to note. Finney-Smith, Van Vliet, Tate, all supposed to be out of this game from my latest injury report. I'll have to make sure I get in. I got to make sure I update these things. Power forward Kendrick Williams out for the Thunder. Isaiah Joe, shooting guard Jalen Williams. So all these reasons get me back to where I wanted to be involved with when it comes to this under. I just think you got new players, moving parts. Who's going to get the rebounds? And you guys already talked about it. So we got no Van Vliet. And we look across the board and we see, well, OKC probably goes out there and thumps these guys. And I believe they do. I think they're a great spread cover. OKC 13-0. Single-digit home favorite versus a team they did not cover. So it's a revenge situation the last time they played. Obviously, it's the first game of the season. So we got to recognize how many of these guys were there. There's new parts on the other side of things with Houston. But they're covering the games by 20 points. Winning by 20 points, not covering, excuse me. So I'm cool to lay at 6.5. I like Sengun. Why do I like Sengun? Now, look, this opened up yesterday. It was minus 105 when we were talking on the show last night. You got to recognize this thing's moved to plus 140. The books don't like it. Sengun's double-double. But what they can do? How's this thing going to roll? Kevin Durant's going to be the rebound guy? I don't think so. He lacks heart. And so 4 games against OKC last year, he double-doubled in 2 of them. 11 points and 9 rebounds in another one. And 31 points the last time they played. So I think you got a good number. And I know it's reverse line movement in this situation, but I'm okay to lay it down there and play it. So let's take a shot. Let's take a big swing for the plus money. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the first half under. Maybe OKC's beating the shit out of them so much that they start sitting guys early. I don't know. Load management is a fucking disgusting term, especially for the NBA. But I'll start off with the first half under. 110.5. Told you there's some interesting line movement with this thing, so I don't know what happens as the game progresses. But a double-double for Sengun and plus 140 seems like, you know what, we got a nice little plus money shot to wrap our arms around this thing. And I'll look to live bet. See what you guys have to say. Horford points, rebounds, and assists under. Bo Jackson says the question is, why are the Warriors a favorite? Magnifico says Horford under points, rebounds, and assists. Jerry Davis says tailing. Magnifico says, I just got an email from Adam Silver. Oh, yeah? Is he asking you some opinions on the China series? China. Bo Jackson says Ish Smith, 13 teams. Ah, there we go. And how many has Durant played for? I guess he's got a ways to go. What does he play for, 5? I'm just guessing off the cuff. Jerry Davis says lines moving against us. It got plus 112. Justin McKelvey's in the house. What up? Stacks. Hope you're doing well, Justin. M. the Greats is also on the under 228. Bo Jackson says Caesar's giving an odds boost on Rockets win and KD 25 plus points. You know one of those ain't cashing. It's that season. J-Man likes Terry Eason over 1.5 threes. Steph over 5.5 assists. Magnifico bet 365 has 25 plus for KD and SGA at plus 200. Super boost. Jay Reeves over 21 points for J-Main. And Fernando. What's up, Fernando? He likes the full game under. Okay, let's roll on to this last game on the card. Appreciate everybody being here. We'll get this thing wrapped up and put the bow on the show. I got to edit this real quick. Shit. I told you I wasn't going to. Fuckers. Okay, we'll do that. Do that. Do that. Okay. Just so you see what I'm doing. I told you I had 2 plays that I was looking at. Then I came in and I added 2 plays. So These are the first two spots that I looked at. I told you guys my zigzag theory in this thing. Plus, the entire listen, if I got to be wrong because the entire planet is on the under, then I'll eat it and I'll own it, because I got plenty of other spots here for us to get paid. So, but Jesus, I didn't hear one person say over in this game, and that's always problematic for me. Now we know, obviously, Bron's eating bonbons. Sorry, I'm just putting this other piece in there. But I thought there was an opportunity for us to get a couple cracks in this thing. So yeah, I'm going to go with the over in this game. Let me give you guys the trends with this, or the stats. 3.5's moved from plus 3.5 Warriors to minus 2.5 Warriors. There's even some threes out there with 62% of the bets and 63% of the cash. My speculation is that has a lot to do with the news of LeBron. That 3.5, especially the first game of the season, was an early look ahead spot. 225.5's moved to 227.5's. Now, I say the planet's on the under. I'm just going based off of what I've heard and read today. It does show 79% of the bets and 78% of the cash on the over. So the pundits, the tipsters, they're all on the under. It's an early season game. The under cashes like crazy. Okay. I'm not trying to, last thing I want to do is eat that one. But, this just came down to opportunity for me as I was looking at these two teams. Again, with the situation and the injuries, we know Curry's the man. It's the first game of the season. 30-plus point night is what I'm thinking this dude goes out there and rolls with. The question is, what can he do on the assist front? And, look, the Lakers are 0-11 overall, 1-10 spread of a dog of more than 2 points in the first 5 games of a season. They do not win. Remember that statue night a couple years ago? And they lost. It was Kobe statue night, wasn't it? And they lost to start the season off. That's an issue. And the Warriors come in 7-0 straight up, 7-0 against the spread on the road when they're not a 4-point or greater dog. They're averaging a win of 19.6 points, much like we saw on the other side of this thing previously. So, I slapped a couple of these together because I thought, well, Luka, 45 plus points, rebounds, and assists was juiced at minus 178. King of the court, sure. It's moved, and I think we get a good opportunity. I think he'll be my king of the court guy tonight. When LeBron's out, man, probably, a sneaky one, Sengun to be king of the court might not be a bad look either. But regardless, I think Luka picks up the slack for Bron with his bonbons. He averaged 43.9 points, rebounds, and assists last year. Averaged. And so someone's got to pick up the slack for that guy. Let me see what other spots that I look at for this thing. I think that's about it. Oh, Reeves. The Reeves 5.5 assists. 4 of the 5 times when Luka's in and LeBron's out, he's the guy that's going out there passing the ball around, chucking the rock, and he's chucking it over to Luka. So I thought that was a really nice price tag for that play as well, to get a little plus money opportunity out of it. So second plays that I dropped out there. I parlayed Golden State with the Curry. Sorry. Whoa. What was I doing there? Let me make sure I get this right. Fuck was I doing? Typing this in with my eyes closed? Golden State to win and Curry over 4.5 rebounds. Big score. Curry's plus 110. It's come down. I'm just kind of trying to play that line movement situation. I think Curry goes big dick in this game. I got his over 35.5 points with Luka over 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And that becomes a plus 244. So we're swinging. We're swinging up in this one. I think we take Golden State with Curry over 4.5 rebounds plus 255. I think we take Curry over 35.5 points, and we take Luka over 47.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Again, line movement plays galore in this thing. And my initial plays were straight plays. Golden State over 226.5 and Reeves over 5.5 assists. That's a plus money spot out there. So if you look at the formula, I told you guys before, we're going to try to take some of these points down. We're just going to try to move some of the numbers around on this thing to capture some of these guys that have season averages. Granted, it's the first game of the season, so we just got to kind of be careful of how we go. We don't want to get too big. None of these are 10-unit plays. We don't do that here. Just trying to be considerate and consistent. We're going to build slowly over time. There's no get-rich-quick schemes around here. Don't ever want to put anybody in a situation where your bankroll's in peril because I told you to put 17 units on something and it fucking lost. That's not what we do here. We haven't done that in the 2 years that we've been doing this, and we're not going to start now. So first night of the season, tread lightly. Thank you guys all for being here, checking this thing out. I hope you have a glorious evening getting that cash. Magnifico says, after all you said, I thought you were taking Lakers. No. Mike says Lake Show. Jay Main says, it did move down because I was looking at the over 227.5 right before it went to 226.5. Okay. And he says, watch out for the new foul rule. A high five is a foul. Oh, no. What about ass slapping? They slap each other in the ass. Is that a foul? Reeves is over 4.5. Okay. No brain auto bet for him. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun, guys. Enjoy the evening. Have some fun enjoying the first night of college. I'm sorry, NBA. We'll get there soon enough for college. J-Man's got Luka over 39.5 points and rebounds. Bo Jackson says, I like the parlay and the great. And the great's got Luka over 7 assists and OKC money line. Love it. Love the collaboration between a points prop or a prop and a side and get rid of those points. I think that's going to be our success strategy this year. There's Camp. It's not my play, but I have Steph Curry over 5.5 assists. What up, Camp? Good to see my boy. Laker boy says Rockets win easy. You can say all you want about Thunder. They not winning, says Laker boy. Jay, you like full game under? I went 227.5. All right, you guys have a great night. Good luck. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door if you haven't done so already. And we'll be back to do it again tomorrow. Same time, same place, 6 p.m.